Hello, my fellow music lovers. I'm Allison Hagendorf, and welcome to the show. This is where we celebrate the universal love of music and the rock and roll spirit that lives in each of us. My guests today are a couple, actor-musician Tyler Posey and singer-songwriter recording artist PHEM. I am so flattered and honored because I am one of the very few people who has interviewed them together. Today, we talk all about how they met and how their first date may or may not have been at a sex party, how collaborating creatively on music really solidified their connection, what they've learned from each other and words they live by, and we get to witness their secret handshake. And stay tuned after the interview for my sound advice. New music you need to know. It all starts now. I realized, and is this true, that am I the only person who has interviewed the two of you together?
Twice. Remember?
That's right.
At the
Travis Barker
the
House of Horror.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget that.
You're
I was like, I'm
definitely
gonna
the
go
only
on.
person.
I'm gonna sit on her lap.
And you did, right?
We did the whole interview with you sitting on my lap, which I was very flattered and excited about.
And I wasn't jealous in the slightest.
It's trust, a safe space.
Yeah,
I really
this is
wanted
a
to
good
have
triangle
both of you on together because, first of all, you both have new music, which I want to talk about. But I love your rapport, and I just wanted that energy selfishly for myself while we're sitting here.
Yeah, no, I get it. If I weren't in our little circle, I would want it too. It's pretty special.
It is special. It really is. And I love that you guys support each other. And I want to talk so much about this in terms of your music as well. But I have to talk about Lemon immediately.
Oh, great.
Because I'm obsessed with it.
Oh, good.
It is my favorite song you have done to date.
Oh, wow. That
You
means
have
so much.
you have a sick scream on it, which I did not know that you were capable of this beautiful scream.
Oh, that means so much.
And how cool that it's in your film Teen Wolf's credits.
Great, right?
So special and exciting. So tell me about this song and how it came about.
Yeah, well, so the Teen Wolf movie was in talks, and I was like, I want to be all over it. And she actually came up with the idea. She's like, you should put a song in the movie. And I was like, absolutely. So I made sure in the contract, I was like, I'm not doing it unless there's a song in the movie. And they were like, of course. You know, we would have done that without you putting it in your contract and being a crazy person. But this was the first and only song we've ever written in mind for a movie. Mm-hmm. You know, normally we just sit down, write a song, whatever comes to mind. But this one we were like, let's approach this like we're writing it for the ending credits. Mm-hmm. And at this point, the movie hadn't been, I don't even think it was filming yet when we first started this song. I don't think it was.
No.
So we didn't really know. The script wasn't completed. I didn't know what the ending was going to be. But I've been working on Teen Wolf for the last 12 years. So I know the vibe of it. I know it's very adventurous and the song needs to feel like a continuation of the adventure, you know? So that's kind of how it started. And she had a lot of influence, PHEM, when I say she, you had a lot of influences of sort of sonically the sound and then a couple of lyrics. And I forget who was the bass, where you got that bass.
There were a couple songs that I just always keep in my back pocket with like really driving bass. So I was like, we gotta do something with like a driving bass, basically. And basically.
Basically.
Yeah, we had some inspos that I pulled up and then
I ran with it.
I mean, he's so good at like guitar and writing and chords.
Like demoing stuff. Like I'm not a great producer, but
I think he's fine. I think he's great.
I'm good at it, but you know, I need an extra step for mixing and mastering. That's that part I haven't really figured out. But I've been doing it since I was like 12 in my garage, and we wrote this in my bedroom, and we wrote half of the song, including the scream. And I was like, this sounds so good. This is so cool.
Well, he gave them a few to pick from, and that was the one they picked.
Really?
And they picked that one, and that was
a no-brainer.
It was a no-brainer, and that was the only one that actually we wrote thinking of the movie.
Oh, so it was all meant to be. I love how collaborative and prolific you guys are together.
Same.
What a special chemistry that is.
And it's not, we don't abuse it. Like it's every now and then, you know, it's not every single song I write, I get her input, or every single song she writes, she asks for my input. It's special moments, and it still is rare for us. Like when it does happen, we're like, ooh, this is exciting and fun. And
I think we're both very conscious of not meshing too much.
Yes.
Because I've definitely been in situations with people where I've dated them and I'm like, I don't know how to like do anything without them. So we're very independent. but we like to make art together, so it works out.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, Lemon is part of a larger body of work that is coming, that has been in the works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been in the works for over a year, almost about over 2 years, because my next single is the first song that we actually wrote together.
Yeah.
So that's how we
Feldy.
met. Yeah, we met through
Feldman.
the notorious
He's
Juan
quite the
Feldman.
matchmaker.
John Feldman.
Wait, that's how you guys met?
It is. So
Rewind.
Well,
I did not know that.
Yeah.
You want to know the craziest thing? You know how he does those Christmas parties?
By the way, we're talking about Feldy, John Feldman, iconic producer. Wonderful person.
The most iconic.
Frontman of Goldfinger. So many, the list goes on and on.
It does.
So he does the Christmas parties every year at his house. And a year before we actually met in person, he called me on stage to do Superman. And I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, what are you talking about?
And I was his
and
bassist.
He was playing bass. But we didn't know each other.
Brings it back to the bass.
And then I go back
to the bass, baby.
I go back, yeah.
All about that bass. About that bass.
Yeah.
No trouble.
I go back to the videos that like my friends took when I was there, and I was like, oh my God, we were on stage together.
And I remember all I remember is seeing her green head, like jumping up and down, and I was like, concentrating on the bass, because Goldfinger has some pretty intense bass lines.
Yes.
So I'm like, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up the entire time, because I grew up with Goldfinger in my life, and anytime I got the opportunity to play bass for them, I was like, this is the coolest moment ever.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we were actually on stage before we met, a year before we met, and then I was on Feldy's label, Big Noise, and we were, I think, in our second EP, just working on it. What we do is we write songs and then piece them all together, and which ones goes on the EP, which one doesn't. And one day he hit me up and early into the EP writing, and he was like, hey, I'm going to have an artist come write with you. And I've never done that before. The only person I wrote with was my band or with Feldy. And he's like, it's Phem. And I was like, that's a great idea. I know her. We have like mutual friends.
At this point, did you realize she was the green-haired beauty on the stage?
I did.
Okay, you made the connection.
Yeah, I knew who you were.
Oh, okay.
Because we have mutual friends, and so I seen my friends like post about her before, or like in their stories, and so I knew Phem. I knew that the Phem was a thing. But I don't think I remembered right away that we were on stage with each other. This was when in my pot smoking days, so everything is a little hazy back then. So Feldy hit me up, and I was like, absolutely, please. That sounds like so much fun. I've never done that before. I would love to experience that. And yeah.
I showed up in a muumuu.
Well, she was trying not to be cute.
Because I looked him up before, and I was like, okay, like I'll do anything for Feldy.
Right.
But I was like, oh man.
This
actor
kid.
Man, very masculine presenting. I was nervous. I was like, okay, I can't like give off any sexual vibes, because I'm really like aware of that going into sessions. I just don't want it to be about that. You just never know.
That's true.
It's a smart
move.
tactic.
And also, yeah, we're there to write a song. So I just came total opposite of, whatever.
First of all, I do love a good muumuu. I do love a good
It was
muumuu.
like a punk rock muumuu or something, and it didn't work. I was immediately in love.
Was it love at first sight?
I was definitely like, this person's very interesting.
And what did you think?
I thought he was very nice. I was surprised, because I don't always have the best like expectations for like actors, I guess, or men
Rightfully
in
so,
general.
Honestly. Actors and men can be quite weird.
So I was like, okay, yeah, you're very kind. But then I was also like, but it's probably an act, because he's an actor.
Right.
Right.
And then at what point did you realize there was going to be a connection here?
I knew that I wanted to get more out of her. I just didn't know what that meant exactly. I approached it with like, I've been acting since I was 6. Music was still somewhat of a new thing, and I knew that she was really knowledgeable about the music business. And I was like, I want to rack her brain. Genuinely, I wanted to do that. But I also wanted to talk to her more, and I wasn't sure why yet. I was like, is there something here? Do I want to keep talking to her because she's so knowledgeable and I want to learn from her, or do I just want her in my life in whatever capacity, romantic or whatever? I wasn't sure yet. And so we went to Menchie's.
It's the best.
I was about to go film a movie somewhere, and I was like, this is our last day before I film a movie. And I would love to pick your brain.
Yeah.
Over some frozen yogurt.
Yeah. And in that moment, while we were eating, I was nervous. And
I
so
know, he
that's
was
and so
very
that's where I
weird.
was
I was
like,
like, what is the deal?
maybe I do feel a little bit more of a whatever.
I didn't really understand what was going on. I was like, sure.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I was kind of nervous, and I was
could
like, that
tell,
was
I
my
could tell.
indication that
So you were nervous that you had butterflies. You're
I
like,
did.
Okay,
I had
I
butterflies.
like her. And what about for you, Fem?
I just was like, I don't understand what's going on.
What's the tactic here?
But I was like kind about it. I was like, sure, what do you want to know? Like, let's chat about
she
publishing deals. I was like, first of all, don't do this unless you really like it, because
Yeah.
Right.
it's not worth it otherwise.
And then was it a quick evolution for you? Or are you like, you still like weren't into it for a long
because
time?
I didn't.
We're breaking it down.
I didn't give
really.
myself away because like I didn't know if she was I didn't know if she was with anybody.
Right.
I never asked because I didn't want to overstep those boundaries. I didn't want her to think that I was just some guy that wanted to date or whatever. Because I did and I didn't. Like if you were with somebody, I'd be like, great. I just still want to be homies.
Yeah.
You know, so I wasn't trying to base our relationship off of that. I wanted it to be business first because we did end up writing a bunch of songs with each other.
Yeah.
She kept coming in to write with me.
You had great creative chemistry.
We really did.
Yeah.
We really did. We hit it off and I wanted to maintain that, you know, and not make it weird.
Right.
And so I had her make all the first moves.
I was like, what is up?
But
It took a while.
It
I
did
was like,
take a
if
while.
this like doesn't go into like another zone, it's over. I'm gonna
she was
be
about
like,
to friend zone me.
Okay.
yeah. He took it to the very bitter end.
That was a
But you know what?
It
It worked. It worked better.
It was a good tactic.
It was. And it wasn't even really a tactic. You
I
know?
know.
I wasn't trying to like
I really appreciate that.
yeah. And it was the first time I'd ever done that. I'm usually pretty
there was
upfront.
respect there. That's
A
what
lot,
it was.
yes.
She could sense that.
It was built on respect.
And it still maintained it. That's a
even
big
more so.
part. Yeah.
Can't. You guys have a handshake? What's
Oh, yeah,
happening
yeah.
right now?
So I mean, it's a pretty basic homie handshake, you know, like run of the mill classic homie handshake.
Tried and true classic.
Tried and true.
Oh, yeah, I love
you know?
that. Oh my God.
And so yeah, that's how it started. And I have a line about when we first kissed in one of my songs in Kerosene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Wait, what is it?
Should I say it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It goes making out at a sex party, and that's where we had a mutual friend who was having all these birthday parties, and one of them happened to be a sex party.
Really?
We were
And I
both-
was like, I don't want to go unless you go. And he was like, I
Same.
don't want to go. I was like, I don't know. Felt like a little awkward.
and we had already gone to another birthday party.
Yeah.
of hers.
So we were kind of like,
Can you please elaborate on this sex
It was
party? I feel like you're just saying it
wild.
like
So-
nonchalantly, like, oh yeah, you're at a sex party.
Right. So yeah, the sex party was mostly. So it usually involves a hired act,
Mm-hmm.
and they have sex in front of you.
Okay.
And
That's the entertainment.
this one girl
Yeah.
had a you know those at clubs when they bring your bottle service to you and they have like sparklers.
Sparkler.
She had one up her butt
Wow.
and like bent
Pretty
over, and,
impressive.
This is
and it was impressive. It was
That
like
is
this is a
impressive.
full on like show.
wow.
I don't-
Pyro.
and it was intense. And
Yeah.
I don't think anybody was partaking.
It's
No.
actually
I mean?
porno for pyros.
no, there was
Nice, good band name.
Thank you.
I
Great
love
band
that.
name.
Thank you. Great brand. Yeah,
there
great
were
band name.
definitely people in rooms like that.
Were there?
Yeah, dude.
I didn't know that.
Upstairs and
I
all
didn't-
around.
I-
And there's lots of like, substances and things like that. And
Oh,
he
yeah,
was sober.
yeah. And I was sober. And this was the first time I was sober, and I saw a table of mushrooms, Molly, cocaine, and I was like, I don't want any of that shit. I just
Yeah.
want femme.
Oh, you were his drug of choice.
She was, yeah.
That's
And-
really beautiful.
And then she kissed me.
Yeah, I was like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. Because he was like, I can't stop thinking about you. Like, okay.
I didn't say it like that.
Yeah, you did.
But I feel like the kiss was the right move because you would know in
Yeah.
that moment,
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
this going or not?
I had to
Yeah.
just give
You had
him
to
a
test
break.
it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cut
but
him a break.
I opened the door to it.
Yeah.
You know, I was texting
Aw.
her like every day.
Good
and-
morning. He's texting me good morning for the last 2 years.
Oh,
and-
that's
2
really
years.
beautiful.
Yeah. yeah, you never stopped.
Did
Like,
you
Oh, and
think
I
that
never-
was
I never
sweet,
stopped.
or you were like, "This is too much"?
no, I
Or you
loved
were- you
it.
did
I was
love
like,
it.
wow,
That's great.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. We took our time with everything, and it's
That's
It's
really
been-
wonderful.
It's been the
Yeah.
most wonderful.
Trying to take a note off of you,
Oh.
Yeah.
the queen herself.
Oh.
Honestly.
Well, I think that mutual respect and the communication is key.
Right.
Like that's the foundation right there.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And the fact that you guys have this creative chemistry on top of that is just so magical.
Right.
Matt Malpass was like, I need to ask him all about this album. And he
Mhm.
kind of gave me a couple of like inside scoop, like nuggets about the album.
Oh, I love Matt Malpass so much. He's like one of my best friends. I'm so happy I met him.
He's great.
He's
and I'm
the
glad that
greatest.
you guys collaborated on this.
Yeah, we did. We did. He's the greatest. I love him. I think he's one of the most talented producers ever, and we have so much fun. And yeah, we started. So we started our part of the album November of 2021. Crazy, right?
Wow.
So that's when our side of the album started. I have a couple of songs from Feldy
Mm-hmm.
that I did 3 years ago. So this album's sort of been in the works for the last
Yeah.
3 years or so. But really, it got started when Matt and we went to Big Bear. We got a cabin in Big Bear. Did he tell you that?
You told me, but tell me more. Tell me more.
It's really cool. And so it was near Christmas time. It was like November. And we had Christmas movies playing nonstop. We had the Charlie Brown Christmas album
Aw.
playing. I would wake up every morning and make us breakfast, and we would go walk the dogs on the lake, and then we would sit and record and like goof around with each other, and it was just so much fun. There was no game plan. You know, I didn't approach this album with like, this is what I want it to sound like. This is the sonically, this is where I want to go as an artist. I just wanted to do everything that I loved. And so you get stuff from Blink-182, Alkaline Trio, Comeback Kid, 311, Sugar Ray.
So excited
It's
about
all
that.
over the place.
Sounds awesome.
And we got some cool elements, like nature elements. Like we recorded the lake in it. So one of the songs is really deep. It's about my mom who passed away like 8 years ago. And in the beginning, you hear the lake, and then you hear our fire roaring and crackling and popping, and it's just kind of immerses you into our world, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And then we went to Hawaii. All three of us, me, Fem,
Aw.
and Matt, we went to Hawaii. And it was
Mhm.
like kind of a spontaneous thing. He was like, hey man, I'm supposed to go, but the person I was supposed to go with couldn't go anymore. Do you guys want to come with me? And we were like, do you want to go to Hawaii? And we were like, absolutely. And so got some beautiful Airbnbs, like right on the ocean. And we just
I
set
had
up.
never been to
And she's
Hawaii
never
Oh,
been
isn't it
before.
there.
great?
So
So
it
special.
was a treat. So
Yeah.
thank you
Of course.
for bringing me. And then we made music there.
Yeah.
A couple of the really good songs.
Two songs made it onto the album. We wrote like, I think 4 altogether. And like really spent our time with each one, and 2 of them are on the album, and she features on it.
So
But it doesn't say featuring Femme.
Yeah, I'm just in the background.
She's in the background, kind of like how Lemon.
Mhm.
You can hear her voice in
of
Lemon.
course, yeah.
And it's such a good song. It's called Runnin'. It's by far, I think, the most like off the beaten path of
Mhm.
pop punk on this album.
Wow.
You know, it kind of goes all in a bunch of different directions. This one is just like kickback,
Mhm.
reggae sort of beach. You hear the ocean
Yes.
in the song because it was roaring around us, and you couldn't
Beautiful.
escape it if the mics were on. So it's it's the album's literally all over the place, and I'm so proud of it and so happy. And it was all just intuition. Like I didn't sit down and come up with a game plan. Like I said, it hit me. The title for the album, each song, and it sort of does this like digression of heavy to chill,
Wow.
which I thought was really interesting because like it starts off with like the
Mhm.
heaviest screamo ever, and then ends with just like this
Yeah.
beautiful epic kind of masterpiece. And
Well, it's like
all
an
the stuff in
ocean
between.
wave that was surrounding you during this
Mhm.
time.
Totally.
That's so cool.
yeah, and for me, I think it's different as a musician because my breadwinner is acting, you know,
Mhm.
and I don't have to be so serious with music, and I can kind of do whatever I want. So I don't have fans that are going to be annoyed if I stray away from the genre that made me, you know what I mean? So I can fill my sonically with whatever I want to do, you know, so I feel like I have a little bit more freedom because I'm not putting all my eggs in this basket. And so that's what this album signifies. And I'm super stoked for you to hear it.
Well, it speaks volumes about, like you said, how much you love music or are meant to do music, because you don't have to do the music. You know, you don't have. You've been acting since you were a child,
Right.
and by the age of like 11 or whatever, you were already acting with like Jennifer Lopez and like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, it's insane. So you didn't have a normal upbringing, but music for you was always a grounding force.
It was, actually, because, you know, I grew up in a small town in California, and I had such a different life from my friends that I felt super out of place, and I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere, because in the acting world, like we were talking about earlier, I didn't get along with actors either, because I thought they were assholes. I was like, these guys aren't nice. They're rude to the people below them, you know, and I never saw any tears or anything like that. I thought everyone was equal, so I didn't connect with them. And then I couldn't connect with my friends because I was traveling the world.
You had a career.
I had a career, you know, so music was one of the first things that I found where I was like, oh, this makes more sense for me. And I get along with the people more. And so, yeah, it was the first time I felt sort of a grounding, like you said, exactly that.
That's amazing. And you actually started not just playing, but you were trying to produce. You had like an 8-track, and then you
I did. I had
started
a little
Pro Tools and stuff.
I had this little tiny, nice. You did some research.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was out there. It's so cool. I had this little Roland. I had this little Roland 8-track recorder. It didn't even have a metronome or a click or anything like that. So I had a metronome. I would record the click and then have that playing on the track, and then record my guitars or my vocals or whatever. And so I just started on these little faders.
Love that.
And it was so much fun. And then I upgraded to a 12-track one that had a CD burner in it.
Damn.
And
wow,
so
next level now.
You could like make your own demos, and I would like hand them to my friends, and then I eventually got Pro Tools and got into the computer, and yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, it's
now
great.
I'm a huge producer. Just no, I'm not. But I produce her stuff.
Yeah.
Kind. That's not true. I helped.
He helped with the Steve Aoki.
Oh,
vocals.
really?
Yeah.
I recorded her vocals in my beat lab.
He's good.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
In his bedroom.
It was really sweet.
Yeah.
I was really happy that I could do that.
That's really special. And what is special is Slippery Slope. Fem.
So good.
Love it.
Thank you. That means so
Love
much coming
this
from you.
song.
For real.
You know, I'm a huge fan. I've been a fan. But this song, I think, is a little bit of an indication of like a new era.
Totally.
Do you feel that way? I'd love to hear more about it and where your headspace is at.
Yeah, this new stuff is like, obviously everyone says this, but it's the best I've ever written in my life. I think I just like
I feel proud.
I do feel pretty good about it. I think I was really angry that day, and I literally just spat a bunch of stuff at the mic, and I was like, okay, this is just, I never really approach things from like a writer's point of view. I'm like, I just know that like voices and intention come through more than like a writer writing a good song.
Right.
And that's how I always like explored art. It was like, it needs to come from like the gut. And I noticed that like in different songs too. It's like I can write a really good song and that won't get as many plays as like the one that was just pure emotion. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So Slippery Slope is definitely that. I was like, let's go. I have 2 hours. Let's get this out. I gotta go.
Is that how you write? Tell me more about creative process. Are you like, I'm going to write today? Or if you like, I am in the worst mood and I'm going to start writing right now?
Yeah, I just showed up and had some drama happen like right before. But I usually will have like concepts. I had the words Slippery Slope written down in like my notes on my phone. So I will usually come with a concept and then just like freestyle a bunch of melodies and then like sift through the gibberish.
I also feel like you've now done so many collaborations, features, writing for others, writing with others. And it's just even a short amount of time. Like I feel like you've been so prolific and so creative. Do you feel like your process has changed? Your confidence has changed? How you approach music's changed? What's this journey been like for you?
I think I just stopped listening to people, honestly.
That's great.
Every time I took like someone's advice over a song that I felt was better, it never panned out. So now I'm like, all right, I'm really going to just trust my intuition.
Good for you.
So that's the biggest difference. And also like, I guess I'm not like afraid to like say weird things.
No filter.
No filter.
Right.
I don't care.
That's liberating and that's
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah, I think
That's a great
maybe
position to be in.
I might have been a little like nervous to say certain things or like, does that make sense? But honestly, I have a song. One of my first songs was a song called Prosecco, Prsco. I didn't even really know what Prosecco was. And I don't think anybody does really, but it's like one of my most well-streamed songs before a label or anything.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, doesn't matter. It's a melody and like intention.
At the end of the day, it's emotion and it's what resonates with people, right? And everyone interprets it in their own
Yeah.
way, if they can relate to it or not relate to it, or they just like the sound, you know? It's just
Totally. Like I was just thinking about this the other day. Like all Blink-182, by the way, you're wearing my favorite band shirt. They changed it all for me. And I remember growing up listening to their songs and just feeling it and not knowing what the hell they were about.
Yeah.
And not even like really paying attention to the lyrics. I sang them, but I didn't know what I was saying.
Right.
And so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I still sometimes don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter.
It
I mean,
doesn't
there's
matter.
that quote, people won't remember what you say, but they remember how you made them feel. I mean, that's literally songs.
Totally.
That's so true.
Lyrics are important,
Right.
but not all the time. Sometimes it's just the
Right.
feeling or the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite bands of all time, Radiohead. I couldn't tell you what the heck. I have no clue, but I know Tom York just has made me feel so many emotions.
Right.
Like niche, minute emotions that I could not access without listening to a particular. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes,
Those
of
emotions are like,
course.
I don't know what this feeling is,
Right.
but I can only feel it with this song.
Of
Right.
course.
Some weird nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got a Tom York lyric from
Yeah.
Lemon.
Sucking on a lemon.
Oh, that's
And that's
Yeah.
how Lemon came about.
Oh
Yeah.
my, see, it all comes full circle.
It makes
Yeah.
sense that that's her inspiration because her lyrics are so dope.
Thanks,
Such
You
a
are a great
Tyler.
lyricist.
Such a fan.
Thank you.
You have your own thing. And that's actually the hardest thing to do as an artist is to have your own thing. And I'm actually using the word thing on purpose because it's so ambiguous and not specific.
Right.
But I think for me it was your song Sweater.
Mm.
And I just loved it. I'm like, this is interesting.
Right.
Because at the time I was the head of rock at Spotify and I would listen to, I'm not exaggerating, thousands of songs like a week. I would just go through and because I am that person that I would listen to like everything because like I didn't care if it was signed or unsigned or the person had 3 streams or 3 million streams. I genuinely would go and listen as much as my brain could hold.
Right.
So it had to be something that would like stop me to like listen to more. And I just remember hearing Sweater and being like, this is interesting. I
Wow.
just thought you were interesting out the gate. And then I saw you live. I can't remember if that was with Grandson or not. It was at the show. Then you were on drums.
Yes.
I'm like, didn't you start playing drums?
Yeah, I grew up as a drummer.
Musically, that was yes.
And then I just was like, you know what? I'm good on this. It's kind of a sad journey for me. I felt like it was just so fetishized, like from such a young age. And like it just didn't become about drums. I don't know. Growing up, I was like girl drummer. So that's always like how people saw me. And then also playing drums
So
for
do you think
people.
if you weren't female, that would have been different?
I think so. But I also think it's a little sad to be a musician and not be able to play melody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
half of the thing.
Right.
So, and I grew up like writing. I was really good at writing and poetry and things like that. So, yeah. But I love drums and I think they've been helpful for writing melodies.
Yes.
But it was not something I was willing to like die for. And that's
Got it.
like kind of what you do when you're a real heavy duty instrumentalist.
Tell me more about your background
Mhm.
and how you knew that music had to be your life.
Well, I grew up with 2 musicians
Mhm.
as parents. So my dad was a jazz drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom was a classical piano player. So it was just always in the house. It wasn't like a question. I just had grown up playing piano and being in music classes. And then I got really into jazz, like seriously. And it kind of was like brutal. And at the same time, I was kind of connecting with like hip hop because I noticed there were
Brutal because you didn't like it? Brutal because it was difficult?
It was like a very yeah, like on purpose, like, you know, the movie Whiplash. It's like you'd be with these like instructors who were like, you need to die on this kid.
Right. It was
you need to
intense.
mean this. And I
Intense.
was like, whoa, I like to do a lot of things. Like this
Mhm.
is, yeah. It was like a 24/7 attitude, you know?
Mhm.
But I noticed that a lot of like jazz players also were kind of in hip hop, like Thundercat and
Yeah.
Flying Lotus. And like I noticed there was like a crossover. So it made me feel like I could explore other things. So then I just started writing hooks for rappers. and then was like writing, I don't know, with hip hop people, rappers and stuff like that, and got connected with the G-Eazy camp.
Yes.
And that was my first song, was a feature for him. But I had written some stuff for him before they left me on that song as the hook. So yeah.
Got it. What drives both of you? What keeps you motivated?
A lot of you like each other now.
Yes.
You know, I am a better person because I want to be for her, you know. Creatively and career-wise, it's I just love expressing myself. You know, I'm covered in tattoos because I like to express myself that way, and or as much as I can be without ruining the acting side.
Oh my goodness.
And on the acting side, I'm writing a lot of scripts and I'm getting a lot of projects made because I want to have my voice out there more.
Yes.
And not in a cocky way, not in a way where like I need to have more control. It's so fun. I love being creative, whether it's making food or anything. It's so much fun.
That's great.
And also, it's not the end all. Like for me, it's the icing on the cake. Like the way that I view life is there's something more to it other than just this mundane, like it's all about work and you work till you die. To me, it's the fun part of life. You know, obviously we live in a place that needs, you know, we need to work and blah, blah, blah. But it's, I have different morals and there's a bigger picture and a higher power, whatever you want to call it, you know, that's kind of like I put my attention and focus on and inside also meditating, try to do it daily, and it just changes things and it makes everything a little bit sweeter.
I love that.
You know,
Yeah.
and so that's what. And the puppies, we have great dogs.
Aw,
They
what
keep
kind?
me
What kind of
going.
dogs are they?
Got a German Shepherd mixed with something. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of him. Little wiener dog, and then she has the oddest.
Just like a weird guy.
He's so weird.
He's so weird.
He's so weird. He's a buff
he wishes
chihuahua.
he was Tyler.
I'm
He
telling
wishes
you.
he was Tyler.
He does.
He
He
thinks Tyler's so cool.
They're the greatest, and they actually get along really well. Like the buff chihuahua was her dog, and he fits in so well with our weird little dynamics. So
Yeah.
Aw,
that's what keeps me going.
I love that. What about you, Fem?
I think for a long time it was anger. Honestly, I was really angry about so many things in my life, and it just would translate into music, and it was a good outlet. Drumming too was great. As a teenager, I would just go crazy. But now as I, you know, started to really venture into the music thing, I'm like, okay, this is like really hard.
Yes.
So I need to know like what the reason is. And I saw this thing the other day, and it was like, if you really have a crazy desire to do something, it means that there's a version of you in the future that is already doing it. And it's like, come meet me.
I love that. It's an invitation.
Because I tell Tyler all the time, I'm like, dude, if I could not do this, I wouldn't. I can make so much money doing something else. You know,
Right.
why am I like torturing myself? So I can't tell you exactly why, but it just, I couldn't live with myself if I didn't do this.
I love that.
Yeah.
I couldn't either.
It's real.
If you
It's
didn't
like
do it,
it's a real struggle to like, I have to do it.
It's part of you. It is you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And also life is more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like we get to sit here and like kick it with you.
Aw.
Like what other
It's
job
true.
can you do that with?
Aw. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, we're very happy and honored to be here.
Oh my God. I
Really
love
cool.
having you guys. I just think your relationship is so beautiful, and it seems like both of you are in such a great place right now, both creatively and just in a health perspective.
Yeah, big time.
What have you guys learned from the other one? What have you learned about yourself because you are in this relationship?
Interesting. I've never thought about that. Have you?
Because I think that every relationship you have in your life is important. Even if it was for a very short time, it's very important because you learn about yourself. You learn about what you want and do not want in the future. So I never think that time is wasted or I wasted my time with this person. You had to go through that to learn about yourself, become a stronger person. But being in a healthy relationship is really a gift.
Oh God.
First one for me.
Me too.
Is it both?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. First healthy.
You'd say it's your first healthy
Usually,
relationship?
yeah, and I'm not gonna blame anyone. That was like a big part, like my fault too.
Oh yeah,
you know?
same. Yeah.
A lot of the time it's because you're not in the right place.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you're not open to receiving that.
Yeah, I've had like I think I just realized the answer to your question of what I've learned about myself from her. I used to have exes tell me like you have so much potential. Like they would look at me and it was so sad and be like, you have so much potential. I just hate seeing you waste it. Because like I kind of was, you know, I was like not the happiest person and getting high all the time and just kind of like just sort of like coasting through life and had not much ambition. And you have made me realize that I do have potential and that like I'm actually fulfilling it.
Yeah.
Big time. Like it's 100%. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Cause like it scared me when I would hear that. I'd be like, oh God, that's dark.
Yeah.
Like I just wish you could live up to your potential. I was like, ooh, same. I do too. I'm sorry.
I do too.
Yeah, right. And so now I'm actually doing it thanks to this green-haired freak.
Here it comes again. The handshake cannot be stopped.
Okay, you guys probably have one too. Come on.
We actually
like
do not have a
20 of them.
handshake. We do not have a handshake. We're more of like a chest bump. No, I'm just
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Knock each
what
other
about
down.
you, Fem?
You know, I've been around a lot of famous people. He's the nicest famous person.
Sick.
The nicest famous person I've ever met. Like legitimately, like I've learned from him. You can be kind no matter what. Like
Amen.
like I mean, we walk down the street and it's like, you know, anyone can recognize him and he's always present and takes the time, does the picture. And I've been with people who like act so cool and like, I'm like, you're not even that lit. Like, even if you were, you don't need to behave that way. So I've learned from him just kindness. And
Yes.
also, I think before meeting Tyler, I was very like guarded with so many people. And he's not really that way. And he's helped me open up and like, I don't know, just be more, free about like, I don't need to put, you know, as many like guard posts up around people.
The world needs more femme. And I'm a big
Aw.
advocate of that. And so
That's
I'm-
really
And he's
beautiful.
so funny. Like I'm like constantly
we
laughing.
laugh a lot. She's funny too.
Aw,
She
I
doesn't
love
like to
that.
show it because, you know, the whole femme person.
Oh my
But she's
God.
so funny.
So yeah, lots of
It
fun.
makes
I
me
love
howl.
that, guys. I love it. So we know that your album is coming up.
May 26th, Unravel is the
Unravel.
title for 16 songs.
Wow.
16.
Tell me more about that number, because I feel like that's a big number of songs.
Yeah, so I think that an album, not an
Right.
EP, but a big
An
LP,
LP, yeah.
is a rite of passage. You know, I never grew up buying Blink-182's EPs.
Right.
They were always their CDs, whether it was 10 songs or 14 or whatever. They were always CDs, you know, except for maybe Fly Swatter, which was a cassette tape.
Love it.
And I was just like, this is a rite of passage. Like I loved putting out little EPs to kind of showcase who I am, what I'm doing now. But I'm like, I want to do an album. And I just always wanted that. And Matt Malpass and I were just writing songs, so many. And most of them were really good. And I was like, okay, we've got like, you know, a pretty good amount here. Definitely album worthy. And then I was like, after I left Big Noise, I was like, what are we going to do with all the songs that I recorded over there? Like, we have like 20 of them that are just not being used. I don't want to see them die. And Feldman's a great friend of mine still and no hard feelings at all. And so he was like, let's put them out. And I was like,
Yeah.
please, thank you, yes. And so I picked out the ones that I felt were sonically fitting with this album and it turned out to be 16.
That's awesome.
So-
That's really exciting.
Yeah, so
It's a
there's
solid body of work.
It is. And I was like, this is sick. Like this is like big time over the top.
Mhm.
Like it's no question that it's an album. And it felt right. This whole album has just been intuition. I never put too much thought into it, but still, you know, when I write the songs, I really take my time and all the thought goes into the songwriting process, but not so much the conceptualization of the album
Right.
or how many songs I want on it. It all just kind of felt really good. And I went with whatever my soul was telling me.
That's beautiful.
And so that's where that number came from.
I'm excited to hear it.
I'm so excited for you to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm excited for I'm excited to hear how you're going to receive it.
Oh.
It's cool. It's really cool.
Great.
It's
and
really
what about
cool.
you, Phem?
Lots of music this year. I mean, I'm working. I mean, I'm going to drop an album at some point. I've never done that before.
This is your debut album.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm very happy that my label is like, you got to drop an album. Because I think I'm like so low key as a person. That's been a real struggle. It's like I don't really have the same ego fueling my career as maybe some other people who maybe have more confidence that, you know, they can like put a whole album. I'm like, dude, how am I going to put a whole album? I'm like, I don't know, still feel like a baby artist in a way, but I'm super stoked. And I don't have an exact date I can share, but yeah.
Anything else about the new music? Are you working with any new people or anyone you're excited to return to work with? Or
You know, a lot of people are confused about what I'm doing. No, seriously.
Okay.
But it's the first time, like I said, where I'm like, you'll see, dude. Like, just trust me. Because I have been always ahead of the curve. And now I'm like, okay, let's go.
Let's go.
But yeah, I think a lot of people are very confused. And I don't really care.
Well, I'm not confused. I'm
You
just
understand
excited.
me.
I totally get
It's so
you.
good. It's so
And I
cool.
can't wait to hear what you are working on. So
Thanks,
please
Allie.
keep me posted. And you know I'm always here.
It's so good.
Guys.
And by
so
the
cool.
way, when you put me on the cover of the girls,
Oh, yeah, Fierce Femmes.
that was because of Sweater.
Yeah, it was.
It literally it was the coolest feeling in the world. I sent it to my mom. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh.
It was really crazy. And like, you've done that
means
obviously
so
again,
much
but
to
I
me.
remember that first time I was just shook.
Oh, thank you.
I was like, it's really happening.
Well, you know, it gives me such great pleasure to provide platforms for artists, you know, ones that are already established and have new music or like up and coming rising stars, which is what I knew you were at the time and still are.
It's
Thank
super
you.
admirable of you.
Yeah.
It's really
You're
cool.
a real music lover.
You're an angel. It's
Oh.
like I know that's a lot. It takes a lot listening to thousands
Yeah.
of songs and putting faith in them.
We
And
need you though.
Oh,
it's
we need
really
people
cool.
like
you.
It's really, really, really cool. You're awesome.
That
Yeah.
means the world to me. I'm just waving the flag, guys.
I know.
Just trying to help out all the artists around the world.
It's really admirable. It's really, really, really cool.
Thank you. We do this thing called, it's my deep cuts. It's a little bit of a lightning round.
Ooh,
Oh
fun.
shoot.
Okay.
You okay with that?
Lightning.
Here we go. We've been
let's do
training
it.
for this.
Have we?
No. Just thought it sounded cool.
Well, I'll throw it out and you guys can decide who answers it first.
Okay.
Name a song, album, or artist that changed your life.
I got it.
Go.
Blink-182, Dude Ranch, Dick Lips.
I mean, so specific.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that.
It's I have it tattooed. The first note, D flat, right here. It's one of my
So
first
great.
tattoos.
So committed. I love it.
Changed. That's one of the songs, like when you hear Tom York, that flashes me back to some moment in time. I don't know what it was, but it's this nostalgic feeling that's just okay. Sorry, I'm
No, I love that
ruining the
music.
lightning round.
No, I love that music can do that. It can literally transport you.
There's
in
nothing
an-
else that can
an
do that.
instant.
Maybe
No.
a smell,
I was gonna say a smell. A smell can maybe
but
do that
it's
too.
a
but-
trip.
yeah.
That feeling.
Yeah. I'll have to say Radiohead, every album, but I think Hail to the Thief and then Mix and Mitosis, great bass line.
Back to the bass, guys. It always comes back to the bass. So good. What was your first concert?
Peter, Paul, and Mary when I was 5 years old.
Really?
My dad. Puff the
A dad
Magic
one.
Dragon. My pops took
That's
me. Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
That's classic.
Steely Dan. I went with my dad.
Sick.
You guys have cool dads.
Yeah.
Cool dads.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, they had great taste in music.
Wow, that's
Mhm.
impressive.
Yeah. Steely Dan.
What is a song that you wish you wrote?
Anything Blink-182. I used to be like, I want to write this. Anything off the Untitled album. Always love that song. Or Asthenia
So good.
with like the NASA communications back and forth in the beginning
I
of
feel
that
like I
song.
Miss You is one of their best songs.
Mhm.
Oh, it's
It's
so
just such a
good.
great song.
It really is. The way that the bass and the guitar go together, those dudes
Even if you're
are-
not a Blink fan, I feel like
Yeah.
that song
Oh, yeah.
is just pretty awesome.
People know that
right? Like I
song-
just like you know that song. Yeah.
So good.
people know what I Miss You is and don't know what Blink-182 is.
Right.
Anything Doja Cat. She's so good.
That's awesome.
And it's like gibberish. And I'm like, hell yeah.
You're like I love it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. What is your favorite movie?
Fight Club.
American Beauty.
Oh, good
Ooh,
one.
good choice.
Yeah, hers is great.
Fight Club?
Fight Club. I
That's
feel like
another great choice.
it is a great choice. I feel like it's the stereotypical dude who likes Fight Club.
No,
you know what I
Fight
mean?
Club is objectively a really great
It's
movie.
so perfect.
I feel like both of your choices A+.
Yeah, American Beauty is incredible.
Really good. Favorite meal or cuisine?
This is a tough one.
I have eaten more food dating him
Yeah.
than I have in my entire
And
life.
you
We're
cook,
foodies.
right? Or no?
I get in modes, definitely,
Okay.
but I do take it very seriously when I'm in those modes.
Yeah.
It's been like a year since I've actually, but we just
We've
cook
been going like traveling. It's hard to do all that.
Yeah.
But we do a good sushi.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best.
I'll say sushi is right now at this point. We eat some good sushi.
Sushi is a gift.
Yeah.
It's a
Sushi.
gift.
What else? We eat so many good things.
Pasta. We love pasta.
Yeah.
Wovo.
Uovo. Have you been there yet?
No.
You should go.
They overnight pasta from Italy.
Okay.
So good. Uovo. Uovo.
Done.
Mhm.
Done. Say no more.
It's
I also
unbelievable.
really like Crossroads.
I love Crossroads.
I know. Shout outs Travis.
Yeah, shout out Travis.
You ever have those Impossible cigars?
I've had everything on the
Oh
Crossroads
my-
menu.
Everything is so
I
good
love that
there.
place. I also love the rock photography. Like it's the whole
Mhm.
aesthetic. I just
Mhm.
love
Yeah.
the whole thing.
There's a new one in Calabasas.
That's where I live, and that's the
Right.
one I
Right.
go to.
Right, yeah. So good. So good.
Also, I'm sitting there and there's rock photography, and I'm sitting next to a table that has Travis Barker's picture. So
Uh-huh.
I actually write Travis. I show him the picture. I'm like, look where I am. He goes, oh, I'm actually on my way in.
No
Oh,
way.
he walked in a second later.
That's awesome.
It was the best. It was
We've
like,
seen him there before.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a special spot. I love it there.
It's so good.
If you were not a musician or an actor,
Okay.
what would you be?
Probably something with construction or a motorcycle builder. You just welding or
Mm-hmm.
Hands on.
or woodwork. Yeah.
Real estate agent.
Really?
I would crush that shit.
You would. She would.
Are you like
would
on Redfin and
crush-
Zillow all the time?
yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that. I'm
yeah.
obsessed with
Dude,
that.
I'm like,
Same.
We do Zillow.
I could literally sell shit in a bag. I really could. I'm not joking.
She's
It's
so
great.
serious.
Show me a house.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a scene from American Beauty. Remember, she goes, I will sell this
Yeah,
house today.
yeah.
I will sell
Uh-huh,
this house today.
uh-huh.
I love that's a great scene.
Yeah.
Good memory.
Yeah. Well,
That's
that's an
awesome.
epic scene.
Yes.
Do you have a most prized possession? It's okay if you don't have-
Tyler. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
This person.
I have a photo of this rabbit I had when I was younger,
Aw.
and I just really had like a good connection with him, and he
Aw.
kind of represents like so much for me. Like I feel like anytime I've written something really nice or good that goes off, I like have a dream about him like the night before or something. Yeah,
Wow.
there's some weird spiritual thing.
That's beautiful.
So I have a photo of him next to my bed. Yeah.
Aw.
I have the Tom DeLonge Stratocaster, which is really cool.
That's really cool.
I have my friend's ashes
Mm-hmm.
that I just got recently,
Mm.
which I think counts as that. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to say that, but I feel like
okay.
that
Yeah.
counts.
Wow.
Those are pretty beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Something your fans would be surprised to learn about you.
Man, I'm pretty open.
He's very open.
I have, I think, well over 50 tattoos, but I think they know that.
Yeah.
I might have irritable bowel syndrome. Undiagnosed.
I was going to say, it might.
You need to be like the poster child of that
Yeah.
now.
A commercial? Have irritable bowel syndrome? Suffering from irritable bowel syndrome? Can't even say it. Maybe.
Oh my
We'll see. I don't know.
God.
But I'm just a guy who likes Taco Bell. I feel like that's everybody.
We are learning so much today. I love this.
But they
I love
also,
it.
all the fans know that I'm open about
That you have IBS?
Fart. I'm a fart joke guy, and
He's never farted in front of me.
Really?
well, I did a couple times by accident.
By
Always when
accident.
I was
well, you
sleeping.
are a human. Yeah.
Only when I was sleeping in my glasses.
Oh,
Like, there was one
that's
time-
sweet though.
Oh
That's
yeah, we're keeping that,
sweet.
and that's the first. This is the
Yeah.
first relationship I've never done that in front of.
Right. Wow.
We're keeping it super classy.
Yeah.
We're pretty classy. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Do you? What was the question again?
So,
oh,
Fem,
do
what's something about you fans would be surprised to learn?
I don't know. I have no clue. Oh, my tattoo?
she has
I have a
a tattoo. Not many people know about it.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
My mom was pissed.
Any symbolism or story behind it?
I am not the biggest tattoo fan, to be honest with you.
I mean, on other people or yourself or in general?
sometimes on other people, I'm like, I see people get like a bunch of tattoos to like get a personality really quick,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels like a cheap trick.
Mm-hmm.
But it was kind of like a 15-minute sleeve, so it was like, yeah, I have the balls to get tattoos. I just don't really want to. So it's like a middle finger kind of to, I don't know. It's like an anti-tattoo.
I like it. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
It's really beautiful. It's very elegant.
We got
Thank
it in
you.
Italy, or she got it in Italy,
Yeah.
and I got another one on my leg.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
it's so nice. And it's a memory from a wonderful trip.
Yeah,
Mhm,
totally.
Yeah. Hopefully some good pasta and gelato.
Yeah.
Incredible.
If you could meet any celebrity, dead or alive, who would it be?
Tyler, the Creator. Huge fan. Genius.
Albert Einstein.
Oh, that's a good one.
I wanna
That's
know-
a really
Wow.
good
I
one.
That
wanna
is
pick
a good
dude's-
one.
I love space, and I love reading about. I don't know if you know who Michio Kaku is.
No.
He is in Ancient Aliens, and he's this he's a theoretical physicist, which means he writes about theories of space and the future of humanity and
What's the book?
the future of humankind.
Oh, okay.
But he's got a bunch of them, so I'm reading all of his books right now. And it just talks a lot about relativity and string theory and stuff that Albert
Yeah.
Einstein had kind of, or Stephen Hawking, I would love to.
Geniuses. all
Tyler really
geniuses.
likes space stuff.
I love space.
Do you? That's
Yeah.
It
really
came
cool.
from Tom DeLonge.
Oh my god.
He's been my inspiration since I was 3 years old.
Have you bonded with him about this?
We have
Okay,
actually,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
He directed me in this short, Poet Anderson, his comic book.
Yes.
We did a short film of it
that's really
years
cool. I
ago,
didn't
like
know
7 years ago, 8 years ago, and it's never come out. And we keep in touch, and I always ask him about what's going on,
Yeah.
what is happening in the CIA. He'd be like, if I tell you, I have to kill you.
I love that.
It's
I'm glad
awesome.
you guys have connected about that. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's very cool.
Yeah.
It's meant a lot because he really opened that door for me at a really young age.
That's great.
Yeah.
Last but not least, most valuable advice you have been given and who gave it?
I mean, like I said before, trusting your intuition. And I think being yourself, I know it sounds so elementary, but like a lot of people have an issue doing that. I think really committing to being yourself can take you so far, because every time I've chosen, like, even like I said, the weird, personality quirks that I have, if I like go there harder, it always has played out better for honestly my career and just being a happier person.
That's amazing.
Yeah, being yourself.
Being
Yeah,
yourself.
I like that. I think trusting your intuition is probably the best advice because your intuition comes from somewhere that you can't even control. It's, I think,
Primal.
yeah, and I think it's bigger than you, and I think it comes from
Maybe your future self.
something
love
something
this
something
theme,
like
by the
that.
way.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
It really does feel like that, and I think who's to say that it's not?
I also have another little piece of advice that I sort of figured out. I think we spend so much time trying to get to somewhere
Yeah.
that, or like prove something as an artist or have a body of work to present. And I think it's cool to just enjoy life as the journey, because like, you look back and you're like, whoa, I'm already there. But like, did I even like take in the process?
Yeah.
So like, I think just living your life like in the moment and for yourself and not trying to like get anywhere.
I love that.
It's hard
Yeah.
though.
It is hard, but
It's a practice.
it is a
Being
practice.
present
Yeah.
in the moment. That is, yeah. I ditto whatever
Yeah.
everything you just said. That is.
I have to
great
tell you, I
advice.
feel like that story about your rabbit that you
Mhm.
shared kind of resonated with me, because to me, the rabbit sort of symbolizes your youth and your innocence and the beginning of the journey. And it would be valuable if all of us could always just sort of take a moment out and think about how far we've come
Right.
since that moment we had the rabbit,
Yeah.
and it just really, we should feel proud. We should,
Yeah.
we're in the process right now. Like
Right.
this is like, we're already at the destination that we thought about when we had the rabbit.
Yeah.
So why not just be proud in the moment and see who knows what's going to be next? But right now,
Yeah. It
Yeah,
goes
this is
so
special.
quick too. It's like, well, if I'm not enjoying this, what's the point?
yeah,
Yeah, I feel that way because I have a lot of actor friends who hate watching themselves, and I'm like, I love it because that's where I came from. Like I'm so proud
Aw.
of that moment and where I am now, and I feel that too. So
can we end with some sort of handshake? I feel like I need to do like a high five.
yeah.
Like what am I doing?
yeah, sure,
Just like this.
yeah,
Oh,
get a little snap
got
in
it
there,
in.
little homie thing.
I'm
You know what I
in.
mean?
Guys, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you,
This was
Allie. That was
wonderful.
awesome.
So fun.
Aw.
Thank you so much for having us. This is-
Yeah, this was great.
it's special. We don't do this.
Yeah.
Literally only with you.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep it that way.
Thank you.
For reals.
Thank you. So fun.
I'm so honored I got to be part of their secret handshake. Big things happening over here, guys. So much love for both of you. It is now time for my sound advice. New music you need to know on the Allison Hagendorf Show playlist. You can find this wherever you listen to music and at AllisonHagendorf.com. I am kicking off my sound advice with the latest from today's guest, Tyler Posey. His debut album, Unravel, is out today, and it's also so symbolic because Phem helped him write this song as well. Tyler said, being an independent artist, there is a lot of freedom, and that's exactly what this album is, freedom. It's got every genre from screamo hardcore punk to chill beach vibes. Listen to it start to finish in order to really experience the ride that is Unravel. Congrats, Tyler and Phem, on everything, and listen to Tyler Posey's song, Lemon. Next is the latest from Spiritbox. Hailing from British Columbia, Spiritbox is a metal band who really forged their own path with the beautiful, melodic, dynamic, and versatile vocals of frontwoman Courtney LaPlante. Courtney explains that this new song came about very quickly. She said, I didn't have to fight with anything to write it, and when that happens, I don't argue with it. It's a type of song I've been wanting to write for a long time. I've heard it hundreds of times now, and it makes me happy every time I hear it. Courtney, it makes me so happy too. I really love it. Check out the latest from Spiritbox, The Void. Also on my sound advice is the latest from Newcastle band The Pale White, consisting of brothers Adam and Jack Hope and new bassist Dave Barrow. Their influences include Queens of the Stone Age, Pixies, the Black Keys, Nirvana, Foo Fighters, which probably explains why I love every single song they put out. But this one was inspired by Adam's maniacal thoughts every morning at 5 a.m. when his new neighbors wake him up with an everlasting, torturous, siren-like alarm. I have that too, but mine is actually my son Cole, who screams religiously every morning at 5 a.m. So I feel you, Adam. They have a 6-song EP coming out later this year, but in the meantime, listen to The Pale White, How Far Can You Push a Man? Next up is the latest from LA post-hardcore band Military Gun. Now, when I asked the guys about this song, they said that the inspiration was for it to feel like a Who song that could have been on Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy, but with an aggressive modern energy. What an awesome reference. Their debut album, Life Under the Gun, comes out next month, but until then, check out Military Gun's song, Do It Faster. Also, my sound advice this week is the latest from another LA artist, Alex Sucks. Alex said the song is about an on and off relationship he had with his ex, where they kept hurting each other, but still coming back and getting harder and harder each time, but wishing we could forget about all the bullshit. Sonically, it is definitely celebrating the garage dance punk revival, which I truly appreciate, and I'm so glad to hear that it's making its way back, but with a fresh spin. Thank you, Alex Sucks. I am loving this song called Can We Forget? That's my sound advice this week. You can hear all of these plus more on the Allison Hagendorf Show playlist. The link to that is in the show notes and at AllisonHagendorf.com. Guys, thank you so much, as always, for being part of the Allison Hagendorf Show. New episodes drop every Friday, so make sure you follow and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. You can find the show wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also watch the show on Instagram and YouTube, and I would love to hear from you. So please like, comment, rate, review, whatever you're feeling, and reach out to me on socials at Allie Hagendorf. I would love to connect with you. Let me know who I should interview next and what new music I should feature on my sound advice. Thanks again. I'll see you next week. And remember, you're a rock star.